Hey, comic book fans, my nerdy friends, and my geeky compadres. Almost forgot my tagline there. What's going on? This is part 2 of the getting to know you type, videos that I'm doing. Page 2 of questions, and we'll get it started. We're just going to kick it off. If you watched the first part, you know what the deal is. And here we go. Fryhole3000, who says they're a long-time subscriber and first-time commenter. Thank you very much. That's very cool. I appreciate it. Asks, what got you back into collecting comics? I hadn't really thought about comics for a while. After I stopped I didn't really collect them to begin with, like in the 90s. There was a title that I did collect, like Gen 13. I collected that title, I guess, but not really hardcore. So I wouldn't say I was really into it in the first place. I picked up a few trades here and there, I guess. But the event that got me back into collecting comics would have been like the Amazing Spider-Man 700 issue. When I heard that it was going to be the death of Peter Parker, I think I jumped on at 698, I think. And that was just kind of like the thing that got me there. And I'm trying to think. I did a few, like, I went to a shop with my friend, a few times and picked up some back issues, but wasn't really serious about it. But I guess that Spider-Man 700 would have been the thing that got me back into it. So yeah, there's that, I guess. 3 albums / EPs you would take on any road trip. Actually, I've had talked to Howler Mouse about this before. I make like mixes for road trips usually, so like doing full albums is kind of difficult because it depends on like if I'm by myself or if I'm with my wife and my son. I usually like to put something like oldies in there as far as a mix goes. I dig on country sometimes too, so I'll listen to that or some rap, usually if I'm by myself. But 3 albums in particular. That's a tough one, man. Right now I've been listening to a lot of ska lately. So I'd probably pick like one of my first ska albums ever, and one that I adore to this day, be Question the Answers by the Muddy Muddy Boss Tones. I love that album. Everything about that album is just awesome. So that'd be one. Probably would mix it up. Man. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. That album's kick-ass. What else would I pick? Like when I drive, I usually like to listen to something like kind of fast. Because I like to drive kind of fast. I'm trying to think of an album that like just gets me going. It's a tough one, man. Maybe like Peace Sells, but Who's Buying by Megadeth? Or Rust in Peace? Some Megadeth is really good usually. Maybe Pantera, like Cowboys from Hell. God, I love that record. I don't know. Yeah, those ones are pretty good. I mean, it all depends on my mood too, you know what I mean? Like if I'm just taking a drive just to take a drive, I'll probably listen to something a little bit slower. And maybe in some like Bob Seger, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, man. I don't know. I usually like to mix it up a whole lot. I have like kind of a crazy music library, so yeah, I like to pick songs as they go, really. Good question, thank you. And then you also asked, what do I like to drink? Really kind of like the Hulk's Big Toe question. Yeah, right now I'm drinking a lot of like High Life, but one of my favorite things to drink is like just like a Jack and Coke. It tastes like candy to me. That stuff is just fantastic. If I'm like having fun hanging out with like some friends, like some like Irish car bombs. Love Irish car bombs. They're fun, you know. So yeah, that's really it. Beer like Killian's, like I said, is kind of like one I can always go back to and always enjoy. Next, Longbox Weekly Comic Book Review asks, which superpower would you least like to have? Maybe something just stupid, like talking to fish. Maybe. That's a good one. Anyway, he also asked, ever formed a band? I did, like I answered to Damien's question, but we didn't do anything. He asked if I also played any shows. Solo, I did. I haven't in a long time. Actually, I did for my last like record release party. This CD. It was also like my birthday party, so I played a show. I actually have it recorded on tape. I've watched it a few times. It wasn't fantastic, but I played a lot of shows in Pontiac at the Blue Note. It wasn't open mic night or anything like that, but my friend Rick, who was also in my band, he started doing his solo stuff too, just like acoustic singer-songwriter type stuff, and he had me open up for him a few times, and that was pretty sweet. So yeah, I've played shows before, but I don't really anymore. I also played like a cancer walk in Waterford. One of my friends, like, I wouldn't say she was in charge of entertainment, but she was trying to get entertainment for the walk and asked me to play, so I played probably like an hour and a half. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so I played a few shows. Which one book would you save from a fire? That's a tough one, man. Especially with the books I've been getting into lately. Like, I've been trying to pick up a whole bunch of Silver Age books lately. But what one book would I pick? Man. Man, that's tough. That's like asking what the keystone of your collection is. Fudge. I mean, I don't really have any like big key issues or anything like that. I don't know, like just like for my own sake, I might save like my Death of Superman book. Just because that's kind of Yeah, that's kind of like my deal, I guess. You know. I don't know. I can't think of another issue that just. I don't know. That Fantastic Four number 57 is a pretty fucking sweet issue. Yeah, I might save that one too. I don't know, man. One issue is tough. Especially when I don't have one that's like landslide obvious, you know what I mean? Like, if I had the first appearance of somebody big, that would obviously be it, but I don't really have one. And then, like, I feel like picking one from this year would be pointless because you could just go out and buy it again, and it wouldn't be that hard to come across. And I don't have any Golden Age ones. Maybe it would be my DC Comics Presents issue number 26, the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. It's also got Green Lantern in it. A Green Lantern and Superman book. Maybe I'd pick that one. I think that's the one I spent the most money on. Yeah, we'll say that one. We'll say DC Comics Presents issue number 26. Although trying to find it in the middle of the fire, probably a bad idea, so I'd probably just try to grab the whole box. But, you know, for the sake of the question, we'll say that one. Next, Sherpernaut asked, if you had to make out with one of these three, who would you make out with? The Incredible CJ, the Dark Knight, or Frank Comic Noob? Please explain process of elimination. That's messed up. First I would probably say not Nate because he's too close. Like, we actually live close. And then I'm sure if I answered him, you'd say, well, go make out with him for like $100 or whatever. And I'm not about to do that. So Nate, sorry, buddy. You're not my type. Frank and CJ. This is a messed up question, man. I feel like Frank would be a little too into it. Alright, I'm going to say CJ, I guess. He's got a little more feminine features. I'm fucking with you, man. I'm playing. Yeah, man, I'm not going to make out with any three of those guys. But yeah, funny question. Thanks a lot. If you could revive one retired / extinct band, who would it be? That's a tough question. Because, well, I mean, if I could revive them to my favorite point of their career, that'd be kind of cool. But, I don't know, like, there's a lot of bands, like I even said with Nirvana, like, I feel like if they kept going, they might have ended up sucking a whole lot. And I don't want that. You know, one band that I think wouldn't suck even if I revived them at the end of their career, but as long as all of them stayed together, would be awesome, would probably be The Clash. I always loved their sound and their style, you know, until that album Cut the Crap came out. That's where it kind of went downhill, but if I could get the original members back, yeah, I'd say The Clash. If I could get the original members back, like Joe Strummer was just a freaking genius, and you can tell even after The Clash was over and he started doing his other stuff, his songwriting was still just amazing. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with The Clash. I thought like The Doors too, but then towards the end they, you know, actually towards the middle of their career was kind of iffy, and then everybody seems to like LA Woman a whole lot, but I really don't. And I don't know where they would have gone with Jim if he was still alive. You know, the stuff they did after Jim died was still pretty decent. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't the Doors, you know what I mean? Bring back the Beatles, but I don't know, I feel like they were in that same kind of realm of working their way out of genius, I felt like. I love their early stuff. But towards the end there, I really didn't like their stuff all that much. I mean, I still did, but it just wasn't as good. Trying to think of like any like newer bands that like Pantera, if Dimebag didn't die, but even towards the end, like Reinventing the Steel just wasn't great. We'll go with the Clash. You know, there's tons of bands out there that, you know, it'd be cool if they came back for a little bit and did something. But then I always feel like it'd be like Soundgarden. You know what I mean? Like they came back and I fucking hate it. I'd like to see Alice in Chains come back with Lane Staley, like if he, you know, was alive again. That'd be pretty sweet. They were always really good. I like them a lot. Yeah, I don't know. A whole lot of cool bands that, like, if you brought them back, it'd be kind of neat for like once or twice. But I don't know. I'm kind of like a strong believer in if, you know, what's dead should stay dead type thing. Because if you're a zombie, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Next, what do you enjoy most about your job, and what do you dislike the most? What I like most about my job is my paycheck, and what I dislike the most is everything else. The Bat Freak 1000 asks, who's your favorite Tigers player of all time? My favorite Tigers player of all time, that's kind of a difficult question, seeing as how there's a whole lot of amazing Tigers players. But, one second, I gotta get this down. My favorite Tigers player of all time has to be Les Mueller. Very unknown, really, as far as like Tigers of the past go. But we share the same birthday, and he also holds the record for most consecutive innings pitched. Way back in the day, I forget the year, but he pitched 19 consecutive innings, only giving up 1 run, which is just freaking unbelievable. The only reason, I think it was like 19 1/3 innings that he went, and the reason he got pulled was because the game ended because it was getting dark. It was before lights in stadiums. And when he got pulled, he said to his coach, he was like, well, the game's not over yet, is it? So it was kind of funny. Like, that's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, I ended up picking up this autographed picture of him. Plus, he looks kind of dorky, you know what I mean? Like, that's just cool. Yeah, so he would be my favorite Tiger. I mean, there's a ton more, like, you know, Al Kaline, just amazing, and, you know, if you think of, like, newer people, like Justin Verlander, you know, the last couple seasons he was lights out. This year he's not doing so great, but, you know, Max Scherzer, you got, like, I always really liked Brandon Inge when he played for us. I know he wasn't fantastic, but I always liked him. He always came through in a clutch. But I don't know, there's a whole lot of old players, but yeah, Les Mueller's just awesome. Just for that one story, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Where were you in your early videos? My early videos, I was actually in my other house, my old house. We moved in March, so when you saw the environment change, that's what happened. That was I was in the office of that house. Well, my office, I guess. It wasn't really an office. It was just kind of a place where I kept my shit. But that's where I was in those earlier videos. You know, we moved and now I have this much bigger room. So, yeah. Foolkiller5150 asks, What's the size of your collection, and do you consider yourself more of a current or back issue collector? The size of my collection, I actually went and counted. I have 1,035 single issues. I didn't count my trades, though. I probably have, like, I don't know, like 40 trades around there. So, yeah, 1,035 single issues. Which is kind of crazy considering, like, I just seriously started collecting in January. So I'm thinking I need to, like, tone it down a little bit, maybe. Or just go fucking balls out and just get more. And then he also asks, well, he didn't really ask. He just says he likes seeing people's, like, comic rooms. So, my comic room. Alright, so this is actually my comic book room. Yeah, my comics are actually in the closet here. Right there. That's it. This actually is the house that I grew up in. And this actually is the room that I grew up in. The people who were here last painted it over, put a Hello Kitty border on it. Yeah. So, yeah, this is technically my collection room. That's about it. Alright, so that's my comic room. Yeah, it's a whole lot of pink. Sucks. Next, Sherpana asked more questions. What's the most difficult thing that you've ever had to go through? Oh man, you're getting deep. I've actually been through a lot of death in my life. You know, I think that's kind of like everybody's answer. Like, if you've been through any sort of death, that's the hardest thing you have to go through. But in my life, I've had like 6 friends die, like, from high school. I had one commit suicide while I was in high school, which was really tough. Bing. Yeah, that was difficult. Another one, like my great grandfather passed away. That was tough. My great uncle, I have a shotgun from him, or his shotgun. You know, probably like the toughest death that I had to go through though was like a really good friend of mine, Joe. He got hit by a motorcycle. Him and his fiance, like they were planning on getting married, and they got hit by a motorcycle. She died instantly, and he died in the hospital a few hours later. That one probably hit me the hardest. And actually, my son is kind of named after him. My friend Joe's middle name was Luke, and my son's name is Lucas. That was probably one of the hardest things I had to go through. No, probably the hardest thing I ever had to go through. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Okay. Next. What's your dream vehicle? Shelby Cobra. I think it's a 57. I think it's a 1957 Shelby Cobra. I don't know if that's the actual one. I'm going to look it up right now while I'm doing this. Should have done this way before. Nope, it's not a 57. Shit. Yes, it is a 57. My bad. Yes, 1957 Shelby Cobra. Painted blue with a white stripe down the middle. I actually have a little Hot Wheels car. I actually have a few of those little Hot Wheels cars of it. I always love that car. It's just awesome. And I've seen it a few times in like we have the Dream Cruise, a Woodward Dream Cruise by us, and there's a guy who has one and he drives it all the time, and it's just awesome. I want that car so bad. What would be your comic book dream team? Pencils, art, lettering, writing, colors for one book. That's a tough one, man. As far as lettering and colors go, I don't really know too much. Sorry. Actually, you know, it'd be cool. I'd like to have Mike from Longbox Weekly Comic Book Reviews do lettering on a book with... Oh, man, we could go, like, new school. Like, do, like, a Nick Spencer book with Bernie Wrightson art. So, like, a horror book. That'd be sick. That'd be awesome. Or we can go, like, old with it and do Fantastic 457. We'll do a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby book. That's kind of like, I mean, that's just awesome. That book is phenomenal. I'd like to see more of that. But yeah, I think like a Nick Spencer, Bernie Wrightson book would be fucking sweet. Just get Bernie Wrightson to do the art on Bedlam. That'd be awesome. Your house is on fire and everyone made it out safe. What are the next 5 things that you were evacuating and why? My comic book collection. My record collection. My record player for my record collection. My computer, because it has all my photos and stuff on it. Actually, computer would be first, just because I have like all my music and all my photos and stuff like that. I guess that would be like the smartest thing to do. And my TV. No, DVD collection, I guess. I have a lot of collections, so I know that like completely, you know, is cheating, but yeah, I do that. Who are / were some of your role models? Kind of answered this earlier in my first video, you know, about who I admire. I don't really have any role models. I don't think anybody deserves that. Like, not that they don't deserve it because they're not good enough, but I don't think they deserve it because there's a lot that goes with being a role model. Just a lot of stress and pressure, I think. I'd hate to be a role model for somebody. Like, it's hard for me to, like, I don't think I am, but I mean, at this point in his life, like, my son's role model, I might be my son's role model, and that scares the shit out of me because I don't want to do something that's going to completely mess him up, you know. But yeah, I don't really have any role models. I just don't like it. Like, there's people I look up to for certain things they've done, but no, I don't really have any. Sorry, man. Where the fuck did the AntiCathedra device come from? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I guess I could look it up. But I don't even know what it is. That's cool looking though. God, this is going to be a boring video, just me looking up shit. Oh, that's cool. It's designed to calculate astronomical positions. It was recovered in 1900 to 1901 from the AntiCathedra wreck, but its significance and complexity were not understood until a century later. Jacques Cousteau visited the wreck in 1978, but although he found new dating evidence, He did not find any additional remains of the AntiCathedra mechanism. The construction has been dated to the early 1st century BCE. Technological artifacts approaching its complexity and workmanship did not appear again until the 14th century. It came from aliens, dude. This is like alien shit. Yeah. That's nuts. 1st century? Craziness. Good question. Thanks. That's going to be the end of this part 2 video, because I'm looking at like over half an hour already. So thanks for joining me, and I'll come back. I'll probably end up doing 2 more parts because I got 2 more pages of questions. So I'll see you next time.